A single half-acre, 200 birds smaller than your fist, and $18,000 a year in gross income, harvested in about 15 minutes a day. Most people hear that and assume it's marketing. It's not. It's just a math problem nobody teaches you because the folks who could teach you are quietly running the numbers themselves and not telling their neighbors. Chickens get all the airtime. Quail get all the margin. And once you see how the columns actually add up, cage space, feed-to-egg ratio, price per dozen, weeks to slaughter, you'll wonder why anyone with limited land is still messing around with laying hens at all. Stick with me for the next few minutes and you're going to walk away with the full playbook. The exact bird, the exact stacking system, the real per dozen price at a farmer's market versus a restaurant, the feed math down to grams per day, and the 6 income streams that turn one small backyard operation into a 5-figure side business, legally, on land you probably already own. No fluff, just the numbers that make the title honest. Here's what's going on out there right now. The average backyard chicken keeper is spending $40 to $60 a month on layer pellets and getting somewhere between 4 and 6 eggs a day for their trouble. Feed prices are up roughly 30% since 2021 and haven't come back down. A dozen eggs at the grocery store keeps bouncing between $4 and $7 depending on the week and how nervous the news is about avian flu. Meanwhile, the average small flock is producing eggs at a real cost once you count feed, bedding, and replacement birds around $3 a dozen, which means the whole self-sufficient chicken math a lot of homesteaders sold themselves on quietly stopped working somewhere around 2022. And nobody wants to admit it out loud because they just spent $400 on a coop from the farm store. The birds keep eating, the prices keep climbing, and the acreage never gets any bigger. It's not your fault. You did what every homesteading channel told you to do. Buy the pretty hens, buy the pretty coop, buy the pretty bag of pellets with the pretty picture of a farm on it. What they didn't tell you is that the entire model is built around a bird that eats around 120 grams of feed a day, needs 4 square feet of coop space, takes 20 to 22 weeks to start laying, and gives up around week 2 of a cold snap. The chicken is a beautiful animal. It's also, from a pure agricultural yield standpoint, one of the least efficient options a small landholder can pick. Not because you're doing it wrong, because you were handed the wrong bird for the acreage you actually have. There is a better one. It's been standing right in front of you the whole time, and the feed store never mentioned it because they don't sell as much of the feed. The Coturnix quail has been farmed for its eggs and meat for centuries. The Japanese domesticated it in the medieval period, and by the early 1900s were breeding lines specifically for backyard production in city apartments because the birds were small enough, quiet enough, and productive enough to feed a family from a wooden box on a Tokyo balcony. During the post-war years, Japanese quail lines were selected hard for lay rate and hardiness, and the modern jumbo Coturnix you can buy today is a direct descendant of those birds. In the American South, quail were a working man's protein for 2 centuries. Then commercial poultry got big. Chicken took over the freezer aisle, and quail got quietly rebranded as a fancy restaurant garnish. The knowledge didn't disappear, it just got buried under a mountain of feed. Everything I'm about to show you is that old system, updated with modern cages and current pricing. If you're serious about turning a small piece of land into real income, subscribe and hit the bell, because the specific numbers coming up next are the ones almost nobody puts in writing. Item 1. The cage stack. Item 1. The cage stack. This is the part that makes the whole half-acre math work, so we're starting here. Coturnix quail need about 1 square foot of cage floor per bird for laying stock. Read that again. 1 square foot. A laying hen needs 4. So the first move is that you're not building outward across the ground, you're building upward. A standard commercial quail battery is 4 tiers tall, each tier about 2 feet by 4 feet, with a slanted wire floor so the eggs roll forward into a collection tray and the manure drops through into a pan below. 4 tiers times 8 square feet is 32 square feet of cage in a footprint the size of a small bookshelf. That'll comfortably house 30 to 32 laying hens. Put 4 of those stacks in a 12 by 16 shed, and you're at roughly 120 layers in less floor space than most people's kitchen. On a half acre, that's laughable. You've used maybe 1% of your land. The rest is available for feed, forage, a processing bench, and the meat bird grow-out cages we'll get to shortly. And here's the part that seals it. Because Coturnix quail are classified as game birds in most U.S. states, they usually fall outside the no chickens over 6 hens ordinance that keeps most suburban folks locked out of poultry entirely. Check your local rules, but a lot of people who legally can't own a chicken can legally own 300 quail. Which brings us to the next question: which quail? Item 2. The right bird. Item 2. The right bird. Not all quail are created equal, and picking wrong here will torch your business plan before it starts. There are 2 families of quail people confuse constantly. Bobwhite quail, the pretty American wild-type bird, takes 16 to 20 weeks to reach processing weight, are legally regulated as wild game in many U.S. states, and lay maybe 100 eggs a year. Do not build a business on those. What you want is Coturnix, specifically the Jumbo Pharaoh or the Texas A&M White Line. Coturnix start laying at 6 to 8 weeks old, not months, weeks. That is roughly 3 times faster than a chicken. A good Jumbo Pharaoh hen will lay around 280 eggs a year over her productive lifetime, which runs 14 to 18 months at peak. Jumbo strains dress out at 5 to 6 ounces at 8 weeks on a proper feed program, versus 3 to 4 ounces for standard Coturnix. That extra ounce and a half is the difference between a bird a chef will pay $6 for and a bird nobody wants. Buy hatching eggs or chicks from a breeder who can document their weights, not from an auction where somebody's selling mystery quail out of a cardboard box. I learned that lesson the expensive way. 200 birds in, all undersized, and a very disappointed restaurant buyer on the other end of the phone. Now that you've got the right bird in the right stack, we need to talk about what those birds are actually producing. Item 3. The egg engine. This is where the 18,000 starts to come from, so pay attention. 200 laying hens averaging 270 eggs a year gives you 54,000 eggs. That's roughly 4,500 dozen. Quail eggs are smaller, about a third the size of a chicken egg, so 5 quail eggs equals roughly 1 large chicken egg. But they price completely differently. At a farmer's market, quail eggs move for $8 to $12 a dozen, depending on your region. To restaurants, you'll wholesale for $4 to $6 a dozen. To a specialty grocer or an Asian market, $5 to $7 a dozen is standard. Blend those channels and a realistic average net price is right around $5 a dozen. Do the math. 4,500 dozen times $5 is $22,500 in gross egg revenue alone. Even if you only sell 3,000 dozen, the rest go to your family, your dog, and the neighbor who watches your kids, that's still $15,000 in eggs. Collection takes 10 minutes a day because the cages are self-collecting. You walk down the aisle with a carton and pick them off the tray like fruit off a shelf. Chickens don't do that. Chickens hide their eggs, break their eggs, eat their eggs, and lay them in the exact spot the raccoon can reach. Quail roll their eggs to you. And then, at the end of their laying life, they do one more thing for you. Item 4. The meat line. A Coturnix hen's peak laying window is about 14 months. After that, egg production drops off a cliff. This is where a lot of hobbyists get sentimental and start feeding retired birds for another year and a half until they die of old age in a very expensive assisted living facility. Don't do that. The whole business runs on the fact that the retired layers become the meat line. A jumbo Coturnix dresses out at 5 to 6 ounces. Restaurants and specialty markets pay $4 to $8 per whole dressed bird, depending on how they're presented. Semi-boneless and vacuum-sealed pushes to the top of that range. If you rotate 300 processed birds a year, a mix of spent layers and dedicated meat bird batches raised on the side, that's roughly $1,500 to $2,400 in meat income on top of the eggs. The kill and process cycle is fast. Because Coturnix reach 8 weeks quickly, you can grow out a batch of 50 meat birds in the same time it takes to argue with a broiler chicken about its water dish. In most states, if you're processing fewer than 1,000 birds a year and selling directly to end consumers or restaurants within state lines, you fall under a small producer exemption and don't need a USDA-inspected facility. Rules vary, check your state ag office, but for a half-acre operation you almost certainly qualify, which means your kitchen becomes the plant. And once you've got a customer buying dressed birds, they usually want to ask about something else too. Item 5. Hatching eggs and chicks, the highest margin product on the whole property and the one most quail keepers completely sleep on. A fertile Coturnix egg sold for incubation runs 50 cents to $1.50 a piece, depending on strain and how well documented your breeding pairs are. A day-old chick sells for $2 to $5. A started bird, 6 weeks old and ready to lay in another 2, moves for $8 to $15. Compare that to 5 cents per egg food and you can see the swing. If you keep just 20 breeding pairs on a proper 1 cock to 4 hens ratio and hatch out even 400 chicks a year, sold at $3 a chick, that's $1,200 on top of everything else. And you're using the same feed, the same cages, and the same 20 minutes a day. Hatching eggs travel well in the mail. Quail eggs are small, tough, and shipped cheap in USPS flat-rate boxes with foam inserts, which means you're not limited to local buyers. There's a nationwide backyard quail market on the internet that most people don't know exists, and it moves real volume. A decent incubator, a $200 cabinet model, runs about 85 to 90% hatch rates on Coturnix, becomes a small mint in the corner of your shed. Incubation is 17 to 18 days, 4 full days shorter than a chicken. Every 3 weeks, another product to sell. Which brings us to the piece that ties all 4 income streams together and cuts your biggest cost in half. Item 6. The feed and waste loop. This is what turns a good side income into a real business. 200 adult quail eat roughly 20 to 25 grams of feed each per day. That's about 10 to 11 pounds of feed a day for the whole flock. Game bird feed, you need 24 to 28% protein for Coturnix, not chicken layer pellets, which will slowly starve them of protein and drop your egg count. Runs around $25 to $30 for a 50-pound bag depending on your region. That works out to roughly $2,200 to $2,500 a year in feed for 200 birds. That's your single biggest expense. Now here's the loop. Every one of those birds also produces about a tablespoon of manure a day. Multiply by 200 birds, multiply by 365 days, that's roughly a ton of high nitrogen fertilizer a year, dropping neatly into the collection pans under your cages. Composted quail manure is one of the hottest, most concentrated fertilizers you can produce on farm, comparable to rabbit and stronger than chicken. Bag it, label it, and sell it at $15 to $20 per 5-gallon bucket to local gardeners. Even moving 30 buckets a year is another $400 to $600 on a product you were going to throw away. Add in sprouted fodder, barley or wheat sprouted in trays, cuts your bagged feed bill by 20 to 30%, and now your net on 18,000 gross gets a whole lot cleaner. That's the whole system. 6 income streams, 200 birds, half an acre, 15 minutes a day. I didn't start out believing any of this. When I first heard quail, I pictured tiny wild birds nobody could catch and a garnish on top of a $50 restaurant plate. My first attempt was 10 quail from a swap meet in a chicken cage I already had, and I lost 6 of them the first week because the wire was too big and they walked right through it. Feed was wrong, waterers drowned 2 chicks. I spent about $300 in the first month and had 4 surviving birds and a spouse asking pointed questions. What changed was the math. I sat down one night with a spreadsheet and I actually ran the numbers the way you'd run them for any small business. Cost per bird, feed per bird, eggs per bird, revenue per egg. And it wasn't close. The Coturnix was not just competitive with my chickens, it was outperforming them by a factor of 3 per square foot. So I sold half my hens, built a proper 4-tier stack out of hardware cloth and 2x4s for about $140, and started over with 50 jumbo Pharaohs from an actual breeder. 6 months later, I had 120 layers, a farmer's market booth, and my first restaurant account paying $400 a month for eggs alone. That's when I stopped calling it a hobby and started calling it a business. And that's when I became a believer. Let me save you from the mistakes that wreck most quail plans before the first year is out. Mistake 1, cheap wire. If your cage floor is anything bigger than 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch hardware cloth, you will lose chicks through the mesh and grown birds will hurt their feet. Spend the extra $30 up front. Mistake 2, wrong feed. Chicken layer pellets are 16% protein. Coturnix need 24 to 28. Feed the wrong bag and you'll watch your egg count crash and blame the birds. The fix? Buy game bird starter and game bird breeder, and don't let the feed store talk you into a substitute. Mistake 3, no ventilation. Quail packed tight in a small shed produce ammonia fast. If you walk in and your eyes sting, your birds have been dealing with that for 3 days. Passive vents at the top and bottom of the shed plus a small fan solve it for under $100, and your lay rate will jump the same week you fix it. Mistake 4, no plan for the roosters. Coturnix cockerels are loud, aggressive, and useless in a laying setup past a 1-to-4 ratio. You cannot keep them all. You need a plan on day 1. Sell the surplus as breeding stock or process them at 8 weeks for meat, or you'll end up with 30 screaming males, no egg production, and a very frustrated neighbor calling code enforcement. Picture your property 18 months from now. It's a Saturday morning, sun just up. You walk out to a 12 by 16 shed at the back of your yard. Inside, the soft hum of 200 birds settling into their morning. You pull the collection tray on the first stack and 42 eggs roll gently forward into a foam carton. Second stack, 38 more. Third and fourth stacks, another 80. In 11 minutes, you're back inside with almost 160 eggs, cleaned and boxed for the farmer's market at 10. Your feed bag in the corner is the same one that was there last week. You haven't opened a new one in 9 days because half the flock's protein is coming from sprouted fodder trays you started as a lark and turned into a system. On the kitchen table is a receipt from Tuesday's restaurant delivery. $384 for eggs and 40 dressed birds. There's another envelope from a family in the next county who drove up on Sunday and bought 50 chicks. The check on the counter says $150, and you did it, all of it, before 9 in the morning. That's the picture, not somebody else's, yours. All right, real question for you, and I read every single comment on these videos. If you started tomorrow, which income stream would you build first? Eggs, meat, or hatching chicks? Drop your answer below and tell me why. I want to see how you'd sequence it. Next video, I'm going to show you the one animal that pairs with quail so well it eliminates your last remaining feed cost entirely. And no, it's not a chicken. Until then, remember this: your half acre is not too small, your soil is not too poor, and the math has always been on your side. You just needed somebody to show you the columns.